Hey everyone, it's Kellen from RacerX again with another race examination video from Salt Lake City 4, where I'm going to start off by talking about Cooper Webb and particularly his helmet visor, which he fixed right before the main event starts. So you see it normally sits a little bit higher up here, and for the main event he actually lowered it so it's a little bit further away from that bell logo. And the reason he did this, other than looking like Joe Motocross at your local Chicken Licks Raceway, is because it was very bright during the main event and they were actually looking into the sun when they would hit the Supercross triples. So just a little tidbit I wanted to mention there. But Webb does get a great start in the main event. He actually gets the whole shot, or kind of controls it through the first corner, and ends up just beating Roczen. But I wanted to talk about Eli Tomac, who started 4 from the inside in this main event and was out-jumped by not only Osborne but Malcolm Stewart on both sides of him, and pretty much only has Aaron Plessinger behind him going through the first corner. So I wanted to review all of his starts in Salt Lake City thus far. This is Salt Lake City 1, starts middle-ish, closer to the box at least, and uses it to his advantage. He comes around 5th. He didn't get the jump. He got pinched off, but he still had a lot of room to wiggle and came around in about 5th in the first corner. Then at Salt Lake City 2, lined up 3 from the inside, gets pinched by Cooper Webb, and very similar story to what we saw at Salt Lake City 4. Comes around pretty deep in the field. Now at Salt Lake City 3, he was actually pretty nervous about his inside gate because he was 3 from the inside, but he used a really good jump to actually kind of close a couple other people off and sneak to the inside to get a good start here. But if we go back to the Salt Lake City 4 start, same thing from Salt Lake City 2, gets pinched. It's just a little something I want to mention because he's been going back and back and back to this inside gate, and I'm curious to see, does he change it up for this Sunday's race, or does he go to the inside gates again? Now, I want to talk about the battle out front because early on, Roczen's going to make a pass on Webb, and I thought it was kind of interesting how Webb looks like he has a lot of space here to close off the corner if he wants to, but he kind of just swings wide, lets Kenny have it, and immediately goes into a very strategic maneuver here as Roczen is going to go into this next corner and block the inside. Webb reads that, swings outside, gets a better drive into the next straightaway. As they come into this corner, of course, Roczen has to swing wide to block him, so Webb kind of just waits for Roczen to make his move here and then just powers out around the outside of the corner to get the spot back. Just some really good strategic riding there out of Cooper Webb, in my opinion. About halfway through the main event, Barcia had a big one off the track, and he's like, yo, bro, where is my bike? So he starts going to find it, and immediately, Dig Dug number 1 here realizes, hey, dude, your bike's over here, but Barcia's already committed. He's like, no, I think it might be up the tunnel or under these banners. So he's running over here, and then what happens next is this woman comes down and says, no, I just checked. Your bike isn't back here, buddy. You got to turn around and go the other way. So Barcia's like, oh, crap, so let me jump over here, goes over here, finds his bike, and then a couple other storylines happen here. So we got Dig Dug 2 running in. This guy comes in. He picks up the banners. He's looking around. He's like, is the spider cam looking? Oh crap, I don't want these guys to see how bad these banners look. And then dude here in the yellow shirt comes in, drops his hat, so he's trying to figure out what happened there. He's got to pick up his hat. Then the Dig Dugs turn around, they're like, hey dude, did you drop your hat? And he's like, yeah, I kind of did, sorry about that. Then story number 2 is the Dig Dug number 2 coming in, and they just kind of stand here and they're like not really sure what to do. They're just watching Barcia pick up his bike. They check on the dudes behind him, look at him pick up his bike, check on the dudes behind him again, not really sure what's going on. And then of course Barcia, picking up the bike here, realizes he's kind of screwed here. He's trying to get going. Eventually they tell him, yeah dude, your bike's pretty mangled up. Really weird crash, no footage of it that I've been able to find just yet, but apparently, and this is just a rumor, the axle nut broke in the whoops, and that's what sent him off the track. It could have broken after he crashed, you never know, but very interesting nonetheless. So as the race continued, Roczen started fading a little bit. He would lose a spot to Osborne, eventually lose a spot to Baggett, and then Tomac would catch him as well. And Roczen announced on Friday that he was diagnosed with shingles last Sunday, so that's kind of a bummer for him. He's going to have to really try to fight through this championship at this point. But Tomac would charge up. He'd get Baggett late in the race for 3rd, so he salvaged some good points there. And eventually Cooper Webb, while on the final lap of the race, fixes his Joe Motocross visor and realizes, hey, I'm about to win this thing. I might as well look pretty over the finish line jump. So he comes down, big old little whip and a nice fist pump, and of course he's going to get his photo taken, so that's why he had to fix the visor. I mean, that's what you usually do when you win races, is you get pictures taken of you. So in the 250 main event, off the start, it was actually Justin Cooper battling to the line with Austin Forkner after Jet Lawrence kind of ran it a little too deep into the first turn. And then I kind of wanted to talk about this moment because poor Lawrence brothers. So Hunter Lawrence falls on the first lap. He's trying to get going, and then the highlight video is basically just cut to Jet Lawrence down in the whoops a couple laps later, and it's just like, couldn't look any worse for the Lawrence brothers, both crashing in this main event, and my fantasy team was in shambles thanks to Jet Lawrence in the whoops. Later on, though, it would be Ferrandis catching and passing Justin Cooper around the outside. He'd come down and get Cameron McAdoo for 2nd, so he tried to salvage as many points as he could. Ollie Stone's getting in a fist fight with the air because his man, Austin Forkner, is winning this main event, pulls to within 10, and we're headed into Sunday's action.